You know, for the longest time, we kind of thought we had it all figured out when it came to how AI should learn to write. But what if the entire foundation we've been building on has a massive blind spot? Today, we're going to dive into a completely different approach that's challenging, well, everything we thought we knew about generating text. This quote, it just nails it. For decades, this has been the story of AI language. From the simplest little models all the way up to the giants like GPT-4, the game plan has always been the same. Predict the next word, then the next, and then the next. And that strategy, that's the playbook of the reigning champion, the auto-regressive model. Let's think of it as a one-way street for generating language. It's super powerful, for sure, but as you're about to see, being on a one-way street, well, it comes with some serious limitations. Okay, so here's the absolute key thing to get. An autoregressive model builds a sentence just like you'd build a brick wall. It puts down one word, takes a quick look at what it just did, and then figures out which single brick or word comes next. The catch? It can never go back, and it has absolutely no idea what the finished wall is supposed to look like. So this whole brick-by-brick thing, it leads to some real problems. First off, it's slow, right? Because you can only lay one brick at a time. It can't plan ahead. It can only see what's behind it. And trying to get it to follow complex rules? Good luck. But the most mind-bending weakness is this thing called the reversal curse. Okay, check out this example. It perfectly shows this one-way thinking. The model totally knows that Tom Cruise's mother is Mary Lee Pfeiffer. But then you ask it, so who is Mary Lee Pfeiffer's son? And it just blanks. It's because it learned the info in one direction, and it literally can't reverse it in its head. It's not just a weird quirk, it's a real failure in basic reasoning. So, okay, if the old way is all about predicting the future by only looking at the past, what's the alternative? Well, what if you could work in parallel? What if you could see the beginning and the end at the very same time, and just refine the whole picture all at once? And that right there brings us to the challenger, diffusion. But here's the fun part. This idea didn't even start with text. It was actually born in the world of image generation, powering all those incredible AI art tools you see everywhere. This is probably the best way to wrap your head around the difference. Forget laying bricks, that's the old way. A diffusion model, it starts with a complete mess, just a block of random noise. Think of it like a block of marble. And then it starts sculpting. It carefully chisels away, piece by piece, refining and refining, until a perfect sentence just emerges. So, how in the world does it learn to sculpt like that? Well, it's this really clever two-step dance. Step 1, you take a perfect piece of text and you just systematically mess it up. You hide words until it's total gibberish. Then step 2, you train the AI to do one simple thing, fix it. Just reverse the damage. Learn how to take out all that noise and bring back the original clean text. And this idea, which seriously started as just a wild experiment for text, has absolutely exploded. It's gone from a tiny proof of concept to a real, genuine powerhouse in just a couple of short years. Just look at this timeline. It tells an incredible story. Back in 2022, people were just asking, hey, could this even work for text? By 2024, someone figured out a super clever shortcut to adapt the models we already had. And now? Now we've got models built from the ground up that are strong enough to go toe-to-toe with the biggest names in the game. The pace here is just staggering. A huge reason for that speed up came from these smart little breakthroughs. See, the early diffusion models were kind of wasteful. During training, they might accidentally ignore the most important words in a sentence. So this new technique, complementary masking, basically makes sure that every single word, 100% of them, gets used in the learning process. It just makes the whole thing way, way more effective. And that new efficiency, it let them scale things up. Massively. This one model, Elvada, was trained on 2.3 trillion tokens of text. This wasn't some small lab experiment anymore. This was basically a declaration that, yup, diffusion models are ready for the big time. All right, so we've got this powerful new player on the field. What can it actually do that the old champion couldn't? Turns out, this whole sculpting approach comes with a brand new set of superpowers. Because it sees the whole sentence at once, it can do what's called global planning. You can also trade off speed for quality, ask for a quick first draft, or let it take its time and give you something really polished. It's also way better at following complicated instructions. And maybe the coolest part, its process of refining a draft over and over, that's a lot closer to how we as humans actually write. And you can see the results right here. This chart really says it all. On a tricky planning task, a top-tier autoregressive model gets it right about half the time. But the diffusion model, Dream 7B, it nails it 78% of the time. That huge leap in performance comes directly from its ability to see the whole puzzle at once, not just the very next piece. This new way of thinking is also finding its perfect home in some specialized areas. Like, take coding. Programmers don't just write code from left to right, line by line. No, they sketch out an outline. They fill in the different parts, and then they go back and refine it. That's exactly how diffusion works, which makes models like Diffusion Coder a totally natural fit for the job. So, is it game over for the old models? Should we just throw them all out? Well, not so fast. Diffusion has definitely proven its point, but there are still some real hurdles to clear on the road ahead. For one, actually generating the text still takes a few more steps compared to the old one and done method, so it can be a bit slower. And you have to remember, this entire ecosystem of training tricks and fine-tuning methods was built for the old autoregressive models. A lot of that needs to be completely rethought and adapted for this new diffusion world. We're really still in the early days. But maybe the biggest, most profound takeaway is this. For years, we all kind of assumed that the magic of these giant language models was tied to that specific left-to-right method. This quote argues that, well, we were wrong. The magic actually comes from the enormous scale, the underlying transformer architecture, and basic generative principles. It wasn't about the one-way street we just happened to build first. So, what does the future look like? It's not about one model winning and the other losing. It's about building a toolbox. If you need a quick, simple sentence, the sheer speed of an autoregressive model is probably your best bet. But if you're working on a complex legal document or a piece of code that has to be flawless, the planning and control you get from a diffusion model, that's going to be the superior tool for that job. And all of this leaves us with one final, really crucial question. We've just seen that changing how a machine writes actually unlocks new abilities, like beating that reversal curse. It really suggests that the process of generating text is deeply connected to the machine's ability to reason. So the real question is, as we invent even newer ways for them to write, what new ways of thinking are we about to unlock next?